Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man. And as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today, I'm going to entitle this Ghost Update, January the 17th, 2022. I thought I would just continue to document this because, who knows what might happen. And I'm like, at least I documented it. Because more, I guess, again, an update. I moved into this house 5 years ago, and right from the beginning, stuff stopped missing. It's like, maybe I forgot it and left it or lost it somewhere. And I know I didn't. The first thing that went missing was a drum machine at Elisa's HR-16. I went through the boxes, unpacking, nothing. And I said to myself, the only thing that could have happened, which is really far out there, was I packed my stuff in the truck, and the movers move our stuff from this location to this location. Now I'm saying to myself, the only thing that could happen, which is extremely bizarre, and I'm like, we know this didn't happen. It's possible, but it's most likely impossible, that they pulled off on the side of the road, lifted up the truck, the thing, the hatch, and started just randomly going through boxes, found my drum machine, and then packed up the box bag and then drove to the location. I mean, that's just far-fetched, and that's the only thing that could have happened because I put that drum machine in the box. I even labeled the box musical equipment. I went through nothing. I'm like, where's my drum machine? So we can just discount that altogether because we know that didn't happen. And I'm not going to rehash some of the other stuff or information in that old video and the other videos, but that was the start from day one. And it's been continuing up until now, because what has happened now, because I told you the last straw as far as, well, we're getting up out of here and get up out of here real soon now, was when my mother's pictures went missing. Me and my wife were the only people in the house, and my wife was in the living room watching TV in her chair. I was in the back. I stumbled across my mother's photographs because I was going to give those photographs to my daughter, and also was a picture of me and her mom when we were like 18 years old. So I was going to give those things to her, and I was in the back room. I came into the front. My wife, like I said, hadn't moved. She'd been in that living room the entire time. I came back 30 minutes later, pictures gone. I tore that room up. Not 1 day, not 2 days, but 3 days. Found nothing. And I said to myself, well, let's just say maybe I put them in some other part of the house. I was walking with it, which I know I didn't, just to make sure. So I went through the entire house, tore it down, each room. Never found those pictures. That was the last straw. I'm like, I'm getting the blank up out of here. So last year I purchased, around wintertime, it was a big hat. Big skull cap, the biggest skull cap I ever seen. It was huge and real thick and real warm. And being in this house, and I'm gonna talk about the cold in a minute, always cold in here, I put my hat on. At nighttime I had my hat on. So now it's turning into winter. I said, okay, let me go get my hat. Now there's only 3 places my hat could be. Normally it's in the living room on the coat rack. It sits right on the top. It's real big and it sits on top like an ornament of a Christmas tree. It's usually there. I had it in my garage when I was working out when it was getting cold out there. And then I had it perhaps in the back room in the closet. So I went in the garage. I'm like, I know it's there because I was working out, last winter, and most likely that's the logical place for it to be. So after I looked again on the coat rack, gone. Looked in the back room in the closet, not there. Then I said, I know it's back. I know it's in the garage. I just misplaced it. I went in there, nothing. I would usually put that hat on my workbench, my workout bench. I sit it there because I would take my hat off and put it behind my head to add extra cushion. So I'm like, okay, as I'm going in the garage, I'm like, okay, I know it's in here. It would make sense to be in here. I went in there, nothing, gone. It's as if what's doing this knows the things that I'm going to miss. And it's not like stuff that I put in my closet and haven't seen it in years. It doesn't bother that. It bothers the stuff that I'm going to use or I'm using. So I'm like, I know I'm not losing my mind. And I said, let's eliminate these other scenarios because I'm like, maybe my wife tossed it in the garbage. And I'm like, I'm the only one to go out that back door and take trash. I'm the only one. So I started to, because she has a tendency to throw out her clothes, clothes she don't use anymore, out of season. And she would sit that bag of clothes next to the trash can to remind me, take this out too. So I start cutting the bag and going through the clothes. I'm like, I just want to be 100% sure I can say this with 100% assurity. She's not moving nothing. It's like, and what reason would she be moving stuff? Throwing stuff away that I use. So I can't get another one of those hats because it was a seasonal thing. The store that sold it to me, they carried it that 1 year. And these other hats, because I had another skull cap in the house and it was crap. It was all thin. It wasn't nicely insulated and keep my head warm. So I can't even use that one. So I know what's going on is what took the hat. I know it because I'm like, only 2 people here. I put it here and it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. So I'm like, okay. And here is 2 other things. My cat. Now, when my cat was real small, because she's like 2.5 years old now, she would be a little clingy, trying to get in the bed. I'm like, no, I don't play that animal in my bed stuff. Oh, no, trying to climb up. I'm like, get back down there. Ain't nothing but human bodies going to be in this bed. I don't play that animal licking me and none of that. And getting in my bed nonsense. No, don't play that crap at all. So she grew out of that stage because she was real little. And she was kind of insecure because I think I found my cat in the bushes. She was only like maybe 3 weeks old. I think about 3 weeks old. Maybe, I won't even say a month because she was still feeding off her mama who disappeared. So I had to have that little thing, the little dropper. And I used to feed her, because she wasn't eating solids at that time. So she was a little clingy when she was little, but that was it. But now, since this is continuously getting worse, now, it's spooking her out because they say animals they notice that quicker than humans. So, like for the last month now, my cat, because my neighbor came and got the kittens about almost a month ago. Yeah, almost about a month ago. And that's when it kind of started that she became extremely clingy and won't leave me because I had my door open at night and I look up because I put a little blanket right next to my bed near the head. And actually I put the blanket over there because I had books, a couple of books on top of under there. And I put the blanket over there so my cat won't be, moving my books or scattering them. So now she sits right there. And then there's a little heating vent so it's nice and warm because I told you it's cold in here and I get to that in a minute. Now she stays there. When I'm in my bed, I wake up, she's there. When I get up, go take a shower, I open up the bathroom door, she's sitting right there. It's like she's just my shadow now. She won't let me out of her sight. And like I said, it's getting worse. I mean, I say 90% of the day, my cat is around me. If I'm in here watching TV, she's right there. When I get up, take a shower, and go in the other room and get stuff going, she comes out and sit on the ottoman. And it just stays there. She won't leave. I go in the bathroom. I open up that door, she's at the door. And I'm like, what's going on here? And it's spooking her out so bad that I'm saying if we don't get out of here soon, I'm going to have to place her somewhere else because she's really freaking out, And the last thing, and this just dawned on me yesterday because I remember when I was in Illinois, my brother was living in Illinois. He moved also. And it was not winter. It was probably it was summertime. Yeah, it was summertime. And I was in his house because his house was huge. He got 3 floors, 3 bathrooms. His house is huge. And it used to be freezing in his house. And I'm like, why is it so cold in here? And I went outside. I'm like, it's colder in there than it is out here. And it's warm outside. And I kind of just chalked it up to, it's not a lot of furniture in here, especially on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And maybe that's the reason. And then it just dawned on me today. I'm like, I once read somewhere where a lot of paranormal activity is in places, or the places that the activity is going on, the place is freezing. And when I moved here, I remember because we had still 2 weeks on the lease on the apartment that we left. And I kid you not, for 2 weeks, I still slept over there because I'm like, it's freezing in here. And like, maybe I get used to it. And it's the type of cold that, the best way I can describe it, because it's not like when I'm somewhere where it's kind of cold and I'm like that. No, the best way I can describe it is like the cold is in your bones. You chilling from the inside out instead of from the outside in. And I'm laying here, the heat's going, then it's a little space heater in the living room, and I'm still chilly. I got a jacket on, like this. I'm still cold. And I'm like, what's up with that? And it's a very uneasy feeling to feel that type of cold, because it's like again, it's radiating from the inside out. And I'm like, my bones are like chilling, and I'm shaking and trembling. And this has been going on for almost 5 years from the day I moved in here. So I didn't make that connection until about 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And I'm like, okay, it's time to get out of here. Like I said, I thought I would document this. And like I said, I'm going to disable the comment because I don't care what anybody thinks, whether they think I'm making this up or, I'm hallucinating and I'm all sentimentalist. None of that, but these things have been happening, and as time progresses, stuff that I miss, stuff that I need, stuff that I use. I'm sitting looking at this stuff here. I'm like, this probably stuff would never leave because I don't have any use for it at the moment, at the given time, these DVDs or whatever. But once I'm thinking about using it, because I told you guys in one of the first installments of these videos, I had some sitting up on my TV counter. And like, it was a video. And I'm like, when I get a moment, I'm going to watch that because I want to watch that. So now in the process of getting ready and having time to myself to watch it, it disappeared. And I asked my wife, did you move that? She said, no, I didn't even know it was there. Because I told her what DVD it was. She's like, no. She don't come in this room and start moving stuff. So I'm like, that was kind of the beginning. No, I won't say the beginning. That was kind of in the early stages because right out the gate at the beginning, as soon as I moved here, stuff started missing. But that was early, about maybe 2 years into this, maybe not even that long. DVD disappeared. It had been sitting there for months. As soon as I get ready to use it, I'm like, what happened to it? Did I must move it or misplace it? No, I ain't touched nothing. I put it up there specifically to watch it very soon once I had, a moment out of my schedule, to do so. Disappeared. So like I told you guys, we're getting out of here. I know there's something going on here because initially my wife thought, oh, you just probably misplaced stuff until her stuff started moving, started disappearing. Then she was on board with something's going on here because we're the only two people in here. And why is our stuff going? Why is it going missing? Are we playing a cruel night gallery, trick on each other? We trying to drive each other crazy? I'm start taking and moving stuff. And maybe he get crazy and put him in the crazy house. Like in the movies. I'm like, no, there's no reason for us to do that. And like I said, I'm 100% sure that she's not moving my hat. She didn't move the hat. I went through those bags before I tossed them, cut them open. I'm like, all this is her stuff. It ain't, none of this is mine. But I'm mad about that hat and I'm mad about them pictures. I'm really mad about them pictures. I can't replace that. I can down the line find a hat that's close to what I had, even though it won't be the same, but that's not a super big deal. Even though it was a big deal, but not a super big deal. Because like I said, I love that hat. That hat, it was like a Russian hat. It was real big and it was real soft. A lot of material and fabric to keep your head isolated. Gone. I'm like, where did that big hat go? Because that hat was huge. It was huge. So I'm like, those are the only 4 places that hat could have been, and it's not in none of these places now. Used to sit on top of the coat rack, like I said earlier. Put it in the closet in the back. Sit it on top of my clothes that's on racks or hangers. I used to stick it there sometime, and I used to have it in my garage when I worked out. It's in none of those places now. None. And it's not, again, a small hat that you can overlook. Oh, it's behind this. And no, that thing was huge. Like, it looked like a raccoon, big old raccoon sitting on your head. Gone. So I just thought I would update this, to keep you guys informed as far as this is what has happened recently. And if something were to happen to me, somebody needs to look into that. It's like, this man been posting these videos for like 4 months and now he missing, or something happened to him. But on that note, I'm going to sign off till next time. Thanks for watching.